Steven Correño, KO Sports here with the one and only Robert Garcia, man. Good to see you, brother. Happy New Year, man. Hope the holidays went well. Man, you're like one of the people that like you have to work during the holidays, right? I mean, are there breaks for you during the holidays? What happens there on Christmas and New Year's and all that?
You know what? I think we're going on 10 to 12 years. We've been planning our little family trip. My dad, my sisters, my Mikey, wife, kids, a little trip to Mexico during the holidays, and we just haven't had the chance, you know. This year we were thinking, bam, it's going to be our last fight, December 16th, and after that we're going to take the rest of the year off, come back to, early January, but came Vergil, and obviously I'm very excited, very happy. All those plans go out the way because that's our work, and we all love what we do. My dad loves it, my son loves it, my wife, my kids, everybody else, they love the sport. They know how much passion I have for the sport, so they all support me. They all support it. No vacations, that's fine. We'll plan it maybe next year.
That's what you got to say. Maybe next year.
That's what I got to say. Next year, maybe next year. It's been like 10, 12 years. Mikey fight in January a lot. I fight January a lot of times, and just the way it is.
It's boxing, right? It's just exactly. Man, Vergil moving up. Maybe a long time coming. You've been with Vergil for a while. He's kind of been a big boy for a little while now. What questions, maybe you as a trainer, having been a fighter before, having moved up in weight before, like knowing the questions a fighter asks themselves, right, in a higher weight class, like how do you navigate that in camp and kind of reassure your guy, like, it's maybe not, the waters aren't as deep as maybe, they seem?
You know what, with Vergil, there's not a question or a problem or anything because Vergil himself knows he's ready for that jump. He knows he's big enough to compete against those and maybe even a higher division because he's that big and that strong. The kid is unbelievably strong. I've worked with so many welterweights, middleweights, and this kid is probably the strongest I've ever worked with. He moving up in weight, he's bringing that power and a little extra more. He's got all wins by knockout, but at 154, I think he's going to be as strong or even stronger because he's that big and that strong. Plus, he's so dedicated. The kid is one that gives you that energy to come back with injured elbows, but still go out there and do mids with him because that's how hard it works and that's how hard you want to work because he's around.
I know there was a point where, you had him and Mikey kind of like working out at the same time, like sparring and things like that. Just what were those sparring sessions like? Just seeing kind of like the young, kind of prospect coming up. Mikey's obviously established champion. Just what were those sparrings like?
Well, you know what, when it comes to sparring, especially with Mikey, because Vergil has had some sparring with Jose Ramirez, with so many other guys that were explosive because of, the styles, the way the fighters fight. And like I said, Vergil's always been the biggest guy, the bigger guy, the stronger guy. So, we had to also be careful because, the fighters, they all want to compete. They all want to be, and they could actually hurt each other. With Mikey, it was more about helping each other because Mikey knows how to work like that. His style was a little bit different than Jose Ramirez, who wants to fight and gets into wars. So it was different. Didn't do much sparring with Mikey, but the time that it was just to work. It wasn't nothing to try to prove something or try to hurt somebody. It wasn't like that. When it comes to other sparring matches where fighters have the same style, then obviously it happens a lot where, sure, man, I don't want, I'm not gonna let him be better than me, and they go at it pretty well. Vergil always gets into those type of sparrings. He's a kid that is never gonna allow anybody to be better than him in the ring. He's friendly with everybody. He supports everybody, but in the ring, he's not going to allow somebody to be better than him.
Man, I could just imagine, man. It sounds like he spars the way he fights. You know what I mean? Like
the kid is unbelievable. When it comes to training, the sparring sessions. But no, when it comes to the fights, he goes out and puts us a show. Right. He's put for 19 times, knocked everybody out, and going for the 20th. I'm pretty sure we're going to have another knockout.
What is it that you want to see personally as a trainer? What is it you want to see from Vergil? Is there like some certain things you've been working on, or just patience, or I don't know? Is there something you're looking for in this fight that maybe you've been working on?
Well, obviously from what happened, the problems that he had with his health. Obviously, that's one thing that we have to be very aware, especially tonight, cutting weight and stuff like that. Those are things that we have to be very, very aware. That's why, Dr. Charles is in charge, and he's been doing such a great job communicating with Victor Conte, communicating with Dr. Bautista, keeping everything on track. Everything looks good. So that's one of the main things. When it comes to going in the ring, I want him to go out and hurt somebody, and that's what he's going to do. Honestly, I don't want to be too confident, but I don't see the fight lasting more than 3 or 4 rounds.
Wow, it's going to be, it's anytime Vergil's in the ring, it's going to be special, man, for sure. Man, I just want to talk some boxing with you. We've been hearing, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Devin Haney looked spectacular, right, against Regis. Like, Ryan looked good as well, at 140. Did you see enough from Ryan at his 140 debut that gives you confidence, like, okay, he's ready for the top guys? Or would you kind of personally, if you were guiding the career, maybe 1 more 2 fights? I don't know.
You know what? The fame, the popularity, the name that Ryan has, he has to take those fights. He has to fight those fights. I was actually surprised that he took this, that he fought, Duarte, because Duarte, honestly, great fighter, very strong kid, and came to fight, but wasn't a big name, wasn't maybe it was just like a stay busy fight. I think Ryan, the what he brings to boxing is so huge that he cannot be in a small fight. He has to be in those big fights. He proved it against Tank, and even though he lost, at this point, did he really lose? You know what I mean? If he fights Haney, it's going to be another huge fight for him and for Haney. So they all win. Everybody wins. I'm glad Oscar De La Hoya has been openly talking about it for a while already. We got to get together. We promoters, we have to work together. We have to make these fights happen, and he's doing it with Ryan. I think he'll do the same with Vergil. I think he'll call out the fighters at 154, eventually 160, and try to make all those fights happen, because that's what he's doing, and I'm glad that he's doing it. Somebody, other promoters don't like to do it, but he's calling everybody to team up and do it together. And with Ryan, he's doing it. He's going to do it with Ryan and Haney. That's going to be awesome, man. Everybody wins.
Right, for sure. Yeah, another one. Hopefully we get this year. I guess we'll see. I've talked to you about it before. Is David Benavidez versus Canelo. I guess right now, being that we don't know what route Canelo's going, is there any other acceptable name that can be next to Canelo's, versus, like in May, that you're kind of like, okay, well, that's maybe, other than David Benavidez?
You know what? There is a fight against Charlo, obviously Charlo is a big name also, so that fight could be one that they consider, but in reality, it has to be Benavidez. Do I really think we're gonna see it? I don't think so. Canelo is the most accomplished fighter, especially Mexican, in history. He's done so much. He's won titles that Mexicans have never won. He's the first undisputed champion. He's already accomplished so much. So he also has pride of, I don't have to please nobody. I already did.